Hello viewers, this is Say-La-Vee and welcome back to our All the Mods 9 Let's Play episode 5. Okay, so welcome back to the world everybody. What we are doing today is we're going to quickly go over what happened between episodes. I actually recorded an entire 30-minute episode of just enchanting, so I realized that that would probably not be the most important thing to watch, so let's just go over the enchants that we collected together. So we've got Protection 1 in Mana Regen, Protection 3 in Mana Boost, Protection 2 Blessing and Mana Regen 2, Blast Protection 2, Enchanting, Unbreaking 2, and Depth Strider 1, all on a new set of Osmium Armor. So we are going to be doing pretty good there. Now the unfortunate part is that we're going to have to watch our durability because these aren't silent gear, so they will break once they're broken. So we're going to want to make sure that we actually repair those regularly. On our tools, we've got quite the sword now. So we've got Sharpness, Severing, Knockback, Looting, Frostbite, and Smite. So we're going to be doing a lot of different damage to a lot of different stuff. Severing and Looting are both going to give us more drops, so that's nice. On our main pickaxe, we've got Soulbound, XP Boost, Efficiency, Unbreaking, and Fortune. And then on our hammer, we've got Unbreaking 3, or Efficiency 3. We've finally found Silk Touch, so we've got ourselves a Silk Touch pickaxe now with Efficiency 3 on an iron tool, so that's not too bad. We have Efficiency 3 on an iron shovel, and that's about it. We're holding on to our lead gear because the breathing underwater is very important, and other than that, that's pretty much all we did. We found a fortress in the Nether, so that was something. Here's our little enchanting setup. Isn't it cute? But yeah, we found a fortress in the Nether. I farmed some blazes. We upgraded our spellbook to the Mage's Spellbook, which is just some diamonds, obsidian, block of quartz, and blaze. So basically you have to go to the Nether to get this tier of book. And then the next upgrade is going to be the Archmage book, which is a Nether Star, the Wild and Tribute, which we need to kill the boss from the mod. A Totem of Undying, some Ender Pearls, and some Emeralds. So quite an upgrade and definitely a little ways away from us. But let's go ahead, actually. I just realized that we can dye our book. Let's make it blue. Haha. And you can't see it when you're holding... Oh, it changes the text on the inside of the book. Awesome. So you can actually see that it's blue. So we've got ourselves our blue book now. I'm going to go over here. We found from... I went through and collected all of the quests that were just check marks and received all of the rewards, which gave us 2 more wind generators. So let's go ahead and take all the power out of these wind generators into our battery. I automated this furnace here. So in the config, we are inputting from the top and we're outputting to the left, and we're just doing that automatically. So we can fill this with stuff and then fill this with stuff. And then this will fill up. The reason why we have so much redstone in that chest is because we found a GregTech redstone location. So each one of these raw redstone is going to turn into 5 redstone. So we're not going to have to look for redstone for a long time because 5 times 430 is a pretty large number. We also have a crafter up here, so I can fill this with logs and copper, and it will craft sticks, blocks of copper, and then copper ore hammers. So we have a backlog here of ore doubling in case we want to double on the fly. We don't need to worry about that. Now that we've got platinum, I'm probably going to add a recipe for platinum hammers in there as well, because platinum hammers last a lot longer. You can use them a whole lot more before they break. But yeah. So I noticed while I was collecting this stuff over here, how powerful this magnet upgrade really is. So if we put that way over there and then hold on to our pickaxe, watch how far away that draws in. That's crazy. I just wanted to show you guys that. That's like a 7 block range or something. So yeah, quite powerful. I built a new imbuement chamber. So we are imbuing source gems over here instead of using the imbuement chamber that needs the pedestals. So that was happening. We also have an automatic leather farm. So you just put rotten flesh in here and then it will, after 5 seconds of being pushed in here, it'll get pulled out as leather. So we have automatic leather, and we were using that, of course, to make books, to gather some enchantments so we could make our gear as good as it is. So we have a sword now that does 10 damage plus the spell effect. So we're doing like 14 to 16 damage every hit because of the mana. And now that we have the mana boost and mana regen on our armor, we're going to have a lot better time with our spells. But that is about it. Oh, and we upgraded all the barrels. So every single barrel under our storage scanner now are all iron barrels. So we've got 25 double chests worth of space like we were talking about originally. I could upgrade it further, but we're probably going to have digital storage by the time we get to that point. So probably not going to do that. So what would we like to do for the rest of the episode? We can remove that. I wouldn't mind diving into some mystical agriculture, because mystical agriculture is going to give us coal seeds, and then we can automate coal seeds and turn those into a better power situation, because we have the furnators over here, but the furnators run off of coal. And I've already put a couple of stacks of coal through this thing, so I think if we come over here and build ourselves a coal farm using some mystical agriculture, we can automatically feed this thing with coal using a crafter, and it would be quite an upgrade. So what do we need to get into crafting seeds? Let's go ahead and search mystical. There's an A in there. Now, in order to make seeds, we're going to need these infusion altar and infusion pedestal. So in order to make an infusion altar, we need some stone, red wool, and gold. Do we have red wool? No, we do not. So we're going to need to get a piece of wool and red dye. So let's go here. Let's look at the red wool. How can we make red dye? Just your regular old flowers. Or dye essence, which we don't have. So by the sounds of it, I'm going to have to go try and find ourselves a poppy. Thankfully, we live in a vanilla biome, so poppies shouldn't be too hard to find. I think I just saw a red flower over here. Oh, no, that's a resonating crystal. Mystical red flowers. Perfect. Let's grab our pickaxe so we can magnet that stuff. And this is also going to complete an experience quest because we found a mystical red flower. So we turn that into red petals, and now we can turn red petals into red dye. So now we can do that. Go back over here. Make ourselves this guy. And now that we have an infusion altar, we need to set this up in such a way. Oh, I'm going to go one block further. Right there. That torch is in the way. Let's place a torch down there. Okay, so this is telling us how to set up everything perfectly. So we need 8 pedestals to wrap around that. So let's go ahead and go in here. We need to craft ourselves a lever, because you need a redstone signal in order to start the crafting on the pedestal. So let's put a lever right there so we can flick that every time we're ready to craft. And now what do we need to craft 8 infusion pedestals? We need 8 more red wool, and we need some gold and some stone. So how many flowers did we just find? We found 7 of them, and we had another petal. So let's go ahead and look at uses for this. Can we enrich this to get more dye? No, we cannot. Can we enrich this to get more dye? No, we cannot. We can grow it in the botany pot, so we could do that if we really wanted to. But that's going to give us that, and I think we can use 8 of these in the crafting grid. Make our red dye. We should be able to do this. No, okay, so they changed that crafting recipe. Some mod packs you can do this and turn 8 wool into a dyed wool. So let's go ahead and do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Get our 8. Do that. Go ahead and do this and hit 8, and boom, we've got all 8 now. So let's go ahead and place these where they need to go. There, 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 and there. Okay, so now we are ready to start crafting with mystical agriculture. In order to make coal seeds, we are going to need the next level of essence because it is a tier 2 seed. So in order to make Prudentium essence, we need to make an infusion crystal, which we got one from the quest, which is awesome. So we actually don't need to make one of those. We got an Infernium furnace, which I think is just a faster furnace. So we'll put that over there with our little furnace collection. Eat real quick. Now, in order to make coal seeds, so let's do down here, we'll do space coal. Coal seeds are 4 coal and 4 Prudentium essence, which Prudentium essence is this Inferium crystal and Inferium essence. So let's go in here. Let's do this. We need 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. Can put that away. We need 4 coal. Put that away. And then we need what is called a prosperity base seed. So we need a wheat seed. Thankfully, we are growing wheat over here, so we kind of lucked out there. And now we have our prosperity seed base. So let's go ahead and put these in our inventory. So let's do coal, 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 and coal, and then essence, 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 seed, flick the switch, and boom. We should have our first coal seed, which is wonderful. So we need to make Prudentium farmland in order to grow that, which means that we need... Oh, we got a free Prudentium essence from completing this quest, I'm assuming. Yep. So in order to craft farmland, you can make yourself a hoe, which we're going to make a silent gear hoe. And then you need a dirt, and you put all this in your crafting grid. That will make farmland, and that will make the Prudentium farmland. It does use the durability of the hoe, but that's okay. So now all we need is a botany pot. So I think what we're going to do is we're actually going to sacrifice one of our wheat botany pots because we have so much wheat. I really don't think it's going to matter much that we took that away. So what do we have for drawers? Perfect, we have a 2x2 drawer, so we're going to use that because this seed right here in a botany pot is going to produce 3 things. So we're definitely going to want this drawer. So let's place this down over here. Let's go ahead and actually, let's move this back. Let's go ahead and put it there, because then that way we can pipe out into a crafter and then pipe from the crafter into the furnator. Place down our basic pipe, get our botany pot, get our wrench, set that to extract, Prudentium farmland and coal seed. And now, if we look at uses, we look at the Prudentium essence, every minute and 44 seconds we are going to produce a coal essence. And we have a 1% chance of producing another seed. So technically, every 100 growths we can add on to this setup over here until we've got a whole bunch of seeds growing. 8 essence turns into, if we go to uses and uses on that, 8 essence turns into 12 coal. So every 8 minutes, every like 12 minutes, I guess, because of the way that the growth time actually is, we are going to be able to get 12 coal. So that's a pretty good output, considering that we don't need to actually mine for it. So I think that is a decent upgrade to our little base. Or not our little base, I guess it is spreading out here some. So we're definitely working on it. Let's go ahead and grab our shovel and make a little pathway over to here. Let's go ahead and do that. Make this look a little bit prettier. Perfect. All right, we have a base and it is coming together. So now that we have coal seeds, we'll wait for that to duplicate the seeds before we go much further in that direction. I will keep upgrading that setup and I'll keep you posted as to how well it's doing. But before we get too out of hand, let's go ahead and go to Crafter. we will make ourselves a tier 1 crafter, which is a machine frame. So we need 2 blue dye. Craft one of those. And now we need to craft one of these, which is a crafting table. So we'll craft 2 of those. And now the difference between this crafter and the tier 3 crafter is the amount of recipes that you can put into it. Thankfully, we don't need a whole lot. Hey, an egg. We don't need a whole lot of space. So let's go ahead and go to here and here. Pipe wrench, export, and export. We can put those away. So now in here, we are going to do this. Apply. Come on. There we go. Apply. So now, every time this fills up with 8 coal essence, it will automatically craft some coal, and then it will output it directly into our furnator. So let's go ahead and... Uh-oh. We need to make some more cables real quick. How do we make that? We should be able to craft it just fine. Yep. Boom. We've got 15 cables now. Awesome. Run some power like that. This power here... Oh, I guess we did have 3. We only needed 3. That power is going to fill up our crafter, and then eventually this is going to run just fine. So, what I would like to do is grab some cobblestone. And I actually learned this from the YouTuber Chosen Architect. But you can block off this recipe here. And we can do... Remember. Oh. Right, remember the current items in the internal and external buffers. So remember. There we go. Oh, to shift click remove it? Okay. Remember. So let's do that. So now this is going to only allow 4 stacks of coal essence in here. This will not pull out the other resources that it's going to create. So this will fill up with coal. Well, this will fill up with coal, and the output will fill up with coal, and then this will fill up with coal essence, and then this will fill up with coal essence. So we are going to have quite a bit of a backlog there. So that is all set and ready to go. We have that remembered. Now, what would we like to do with the rest of the episode? It looks like we've got about 10 to 15 minutes left. So I think that we should jump into Industrial Foregoing. So, what does it take to get into Industrial Foregoing, we might ask? What do we get? A Prudendium Growth Accelerator. Interesting. What do we need to get into Industrial Foregoing? We need a Pity Machine Frame. So a Pity Machine Frame is a block of redstone, which we can certainly make. Let's make 16 of those. And some iron and some logs. So let's go ahead and craft one of those. That should complete this recipe, or this quest. The fluid extractor is the first vital component of this mod. This is going to extract latex from logs. So we'll go ahead and remember that. We need a golden pressure plate. And then we need a piston. We need some cobblestone. We need a piston. Craft one of those. And we should be able to craft a fluid extractor. Awesome. So a fluid extractor is going to require power, and it is going to require logs. So let's grab... What if we look at the uses here? What is going to give us the best... This is going to produce mineral resin. Interesting. What is going to be the best? So... Any log is going to produce 1 per work, but vanilla logs are going to produce more. It looks like we're going to get 2 from oak. The best is acacia. So if we wanted to go find some acacia, we would be able to get the most amount of latex out of this. And this is power optional. So this is going to produce, it's going to work faster when it's connected to power, but power is not required for it to run. So we're actually going to set this up so it does use power. We'll place the log here. So for now, while we're looking for acacia, we'll go ahead and just use an oak log. And now that is going to slowly break down the log. You should be able to see particles showing up. Yep, so this is going to slowly break this log and produce latex. That green bar, you see how it only goes up to about a third and then it clicks and then it goes back down? That's because it's connected to power. The ETA would be the full 5 or 6 seconds or whatever it would typically be. So this is going to produce liquid latex, and then we're going to turn that liquid latex into physical latex, which is this dry rubber, and then dry rubber gets smelted into plastic. And then plastic is the base building block for almost everything in this mod. So we're going to let this work over time, but how are we going to find acacia, you might ask? Well, we can do that simply with a nature compass. So let's go ahead and make ourselves a compass. And now we should just be able to wrap this with 4 saplings. Nope. Uses? Oh, we need 4 logs and 4 saplings. So let's go ahead in here. Let's grab those. And boom, now we have a nature's compass. And that is going to complete a tips and tricks quest, which is going to give us an upgrade base for our backpack. Awesome. So if we hold this compass and then right click with it, we can search any biome that exists in the game. So if we do Savannah, and we just go to the regular vanilla Savannah, we double click on that, and it is going to show us, up on the top left, you can see that 2,000 blocks in that direction is the Savannah biome. So I'm going to fly in that direction. If there's anything interesting that I find along the way, I will bring you guys back. But for now, I will see you in just a few seconds. So I've got this little platform just a couple hundred or 100 blocks away from the base that's just out of eyesight that we can grow trees on. So I have gone ahead and grown some of the, or placed down some of the acacia saplings that we collected from our little adventure. I found nothing of interest along the way, so I didn't bring you guys back, of course. But we do have our acacia logs now, so we are going to go ahead and go over here. And now we are going to want to break this log and place down our acacia. Now this will remember the damage that it did to the block. So this is of course going to, well, I guess what we need to do is pipe out that latex into a tank. But let's go ahead and make ourselves a tank. We are going to make the mechanism tank because it is the largest and easiest to make. That is 32 buckets. The advanced is 64. We should be able to craft one of those. So yep, so we've got 64 buckets now. So now we need to make 2 regular vanilla buckets. And now we need to make a pipe. 2 vanilla buckets will turn into 16 fluid pipes. So we're going to come over here, going to place that down, grab our pipe wrench, set that to extract. And now this is going to fill up with latex. So we are going to build ourselves up a 64 bucket backlog of latex until we start turning that into different resources. So now that we have that done and out of the way, let's go ahead and see what the next machine is that we are going to need to progress down the list. Oh, we found an upgrade base, so that unlocks this whole section down here that we didn't even know existed. Let's go to Industrial Foregoing. Next would be a bucket of latex. So let's grab a blank bucket out of our inventory. Come over here, grab a bucket. That will complete the quest. That is going to give us 2 basic fluid tanks of latex. So each of those is going to hold 14. So let's go ahead and put that away. Let's go ahead and grab our pipe wrench. Let's place this down right there and set that to extract. This is going to drain the latex out of this bucket, or out of this tank, and place it in here. Now, I wonder... you can just click and do that. So this still has 2 in it. Now it is empty. This is now empty. So now we have 2 basic tanks just hanging out in our inventory, ready to go at any moment. Hey, we got ourselves a mega torch. That's awesome. That's going to prevent mob spawns. Let's go ahead and break this torch and place the mega torch down instead. So now in a huge radius around our base, hostile mobs will not spawn. So that's awesome, because now we don't have any walls, obviously, in this base, so it's not like things couldn't just walk up to me. I have done a good job at lighting everything up, but now we don't need to worry about it at all. So we've got 29 buckets of latex just hanging out here, and the next process is the latex processing unit. So we need another pity machine frame. So let's go ahead over here and do that. Let's go back into our quests, press A on that to bookmark it. Go ahead and make ourselves a pity machine frame, and we should be able to just craft one. Awesome. So that completes that quest. Let's go ahead and place this right here. Let's grab some energy cables and do that. Now we need a pipe and a wrench. Do that and that. So that is going to drain. This is just going to act as a buffer. This will only hold 16 buckets. So we will go ahead and fill this up. And now what we need to do is fill it with water, I believe. Once this is full of both water and latex, it will start creating dry rubber. So if we go here to uses, this is just a latex processing unit. Oh no, okay. So we don't need to fill it with water. This should just be working. Maybe it does need water. Let's make ourselves a sink. A sink. A sink is an infinite water block, or a water source. So we need 5 terracotta. So if we go to clay, we've got 107 clay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go ahead and do that. Go over here. Cook that up. We need to get ourselves a bucket of water for this recipe. So let's grab that. This is almost done. Perfect. And now we should be able to make ourselves an infinite water source. Let's grab a pipe and our pipe wrench. Let's go ahead and place our sink here. Go ahead and extract out of that. And now, yes, okay, so we did need to fill that with water. So now we are producing dry rubber. Dry rubber, of course, when put through a smelter, is going to turn into plastic. So we will collect that resource there. We only need 1 in our inventory to complete the quest, so let's go ahead and do that. Collect the experience. And now 1 plastic is going to give us 5 more plastic. So let's go ahead and wait for this plastic to cook up real quick. Clear out that inventory there. Complete this quest. And now we have access to some of the best tools that we are going to be using for automation in our world. So let's go ahead and put our plastic away. So now, this is what we are here for, the plants. A plant gatherer and a plant sower. We are going to be able to automate a large crop of land that we can turn into a farm, an instant farm. And the mob slaughter factory is going to unlock pink slime and liquid meat. And liquid meat is a good way to feed yourself using the meat feeder. You put that in your head slot in your curios, and then you can inject fluid meat into your body, which will keep your saturation full. It's a very good item, and it's a lot better when you're fighting because it will keep your hunger full even when you're taking damage and everything. So it's going to be a good combat item, but I think we're going to stick with toast for a little while here because we don't have a mob farm set up yet. So what are we working on next? Let's go ahead and start working towards these plants. So let's do plant gatherer and plant sower, which we have in our bookmarks here now. So we need a pity machine frame. We're probably going to need 2, so let's make an extra. iron gears. 2 of those, and that was for the plant sewer. We need 2 pistons, so we need 8 cobblestone. Go ahead and make our 2 pistons. Should be able to craft our plant sewer now. Awesome. And now the plant gatherer, we need 2 iron axes and a hoe. The pity machine frame and 2 gold gears. So let's go ahead and make 2 golden gears. And boom. So now we have a plant gatherer and a plant sewer. So we're going to have to supply these with power. Let's go ahead and grab that. Let's go ahead and bring this. Let's just do it over here for now. The plant sewer is going to place so if we place it down and then turn on the working area, it places on this block 2 above it because it's expecting you to have a dirt between it that it can actually place an item down. So let's go ahead and grab ourselves a sapling because we are going to set up a basic little tree farm for now. Let's get the plant sewer. Let's get a single piece of dirt. Place that down there. If we go ahead and place that in there, we need an extra power cable to do that. Place down our plant gatherer. And then we are going to place down our wind generator. So this wind generator is going to spin and produce power to both of these. These only hold 10,000 FE. But this is going to, if we grab some more saplings. No, that's only 1. We want a full stack. If we place a stack of saplings in there, this is going to place the sapling. And then this, once the sapling is grown, is going to collect the materials. So if we grab some bones real quick so we can just make some bone meal and show you how this works. This is going to slowly consume the tree. And of course it automatically planted. And here are all the resources that we collected from that. So by setting it and forgetting it, we are going to have a nice little tree farm over here. So let's go ahead and grab, I think we still have an iron chest down here. Yep, right there. Let's go ahead and grab 2 item pipes and our wrench. So we can place this here, place the item pipes, extract. And now we are going to have an iron chest full of resources from this automatic tree farm. And all we are doing here, this is a 2x3 block setup. So this is super easy to set up, super easy to maintain. It doesn't require a whole lot of power, as you can tell. This 132 FE per tick is actually covering this entire system here because, yes, this is going to use a lot of power, but because this tree grows so infrequently, it's not going to use enough to where this can't keep up. So yeah, we have ourselves a little tree farm here sitting next to our sugarcane and our wheat and our industrial hemp, which, by the way, I did this between episodes, I believe. I don't think we did this on camera. We are now producing hemp. So if we put all that up in there, we can produce string for free. Let's go ahead and do that. And now we've got 2 more stacks of string. So yeah, so now we can produce our own wool. But I think that is going to do it for today's episode. So guys, if you liked the episode, go ahead and leave a like. If you disliked it, you can leave a dislike. I don't mind. If there's anything that you'd like to say to me or the other people of YouTube, you can do that in the comment section down below. But for now, I would like to wish you a good night or a good morning or good evening or good afternoon or whatever it is for you. Just please have a good day and be happy. This has been Say-La-Vee, and bye-bye.